As it happens, when you're working on a car that's had 2 or 3 owners already, you run into some interesting repairs. The air conditioning pulley has a tensioner that resembles this one here. It's this pulley. It fits down there, slides in that slot down there, and it has an adjuster that looks something like this one, or it's supposed to. What I've got is a nut and bolt. Got a nut and bolt on here with a bunch of lock washers and spacers, and the pulley's worn out anyway. So looks like we're off to a trip to the wrecking yard to get that assembly, and who knows, maybe we'll get lucky and find a good pulley in the wrecking yard too. So I got new Autolite spark plugs for this engine. They're 3923, and they're supposed to be gapped at 44 thousandths according to my information. They have this washer, this metal washer down here in the bottom, and the trick here is to not flatten that washer out completely, because you can over tighten a spark plug and you can under tighten it. It's just, you got to make it snug without just smashing that ring. And I do this right the first time because it's way down in here. Be careful not to cross thread anything. That would just be bad. I poured some gas down number 4 cylinder because it had oil in it. Rotated the motor a few times to wash it out a bit so we don't get too much compression. A short ratchet like this will help keep you from over tightening it. I believe that should be about right. Ooh, bad. See if I can recover. Got it. Probably about a quarter turn after it's hand tight. Okay, now I reassemble the ignition system and finish my oil change, and we'll try starting it. Alright, the moment of truth. I've got a little more air ducting on the front of the motor there that's not on there yet, but that doesn't matter right at the moment. What matters right at the moment is getting this thing started. It's likely to smoke a little bit the first time I started up because that oil that went down in the piston. So let's see what happens. Well, how do you like that? It runs. Blowing a little smoke there. See if that clears up. I'm going to have to warm the engine up and make sure there's enough water in the radiator. Sometimes when you refill an empty engine, it will there will be an air pocket captured upstream from the thermostat. So as soon as the thermostat opens, it purges all that air out, and then you need to add more water. Now the exhaust is cleaning up nicely. Now if I could just figure out how to turn the wipers off. So, what is my final analysis of working on this engine? This engine, working on this car reminds me a lot of cars from the 70s. Namely, there's room enough to actually do stuff under the hood. The one exception for that is the oil filter. I had to take special efforts to get the oil filter off because of the rather difficult positioning on it, and it was too tight. It was somebody really reefed down on it. Otherwise, so far, working on this engine is actually pretty easy, which is good. I like that. The engine itself, from what I've been able to see, is an excellent little Hemi. And you know, the one caveat to that is the water pump. There's a couple different types of water pump that will fit on this engine, but they're not interchangeable. You have to get the right one, and since you can put the wrong one on and cause damage, it's a bad idea. And all the evidence that I personally experienced with this engine, and from what I've been able to find online, indicates this is not an interference motor, which is good. It's terrific. And at 122 cubic inches, it has 130 some horsepower, which is more than a horsepower per cubic inch, as you would expect from a modern Hemi. So all in all, I call this a good car. I'm good for another 60,000 miles. Gates really needs to work on their sticker here, because the only thing that would mark on it was a Sharpie. But you know, that's a small thing. Other than that, I'm calling this job done. Watch your speed.